Hey you all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from my car. Today we're gonna go for a walk. Now I usually travel all different places around the country, and it's pretty clear to me that every town has something interesting. Every town has something worthy of like stopping and checking out. But you know, I haven't really done a lot of filming right here in my hometown. Well, not that my hometown, I wasn't born here, but I live here in a small town known as Waynesville, North Carolina. Now, you know, we're not allowed to travel long distances or things like that, but we are allowed to go out and walk, you know, due to the unpleasantness here. There's restrictions, but what we're gonna do today is we're gonna be safe. We are not gonna get within 6 feet of any people. We are going to stick to areas where we can avoid people and be safe, but we can go on a walk and we can look at the sights to see here in Waynesville, North Carolina. And there's something very interesting that I didn't know about when I first moved here that I would like to share with you guys. So if you don't mind, follow me. Parked here in front of the old Haywood County Courthouse. Actually, a really cool historic courthouse. We obviously cannot go inside. Next door we have the new courthouse, the Justice Center. I spent a lot of time there when I worked for Child Protective Services. I had to sit in court waiting for cases to be heard. Yeah, just sitting there in court, not that fun. It's really boring. Out here around the courthouse, there is several monuments to soldiers in various wars. This is the Vietnam Memorial. It's the names of some of the people that sacrificed their lives in Vietnam. You can see there's a pair of boots there with some red, white, and blue flowers. There's a Korean War monument there, and this is just a general monument to veterans that served in the armed forces. As you can see here in Waynesville, very much appreciative of men and women that serve in the military. This statue here is pretty new. It's only been put up in the last couple years. It says militia rifleman on the foot of the statue. Oh, I didn't even notice this before. This is a Century Vault. There's a time capsule in here. It says it was put here July 4th, 1976, and will be opened in 2076. If I'm still alive, I'll be here. I'll be here for the opening. Out here front, closer to the street, we have the Confederate Veterans Memorial. You can see this little archway here. It says Gateway to the Smokies. That's actually a recreation, because there used to be, in old pictures you can see there used to be a giant archway that would go right there across the street. I think that'd be cool if they put that back in, but I guess they maybe didn't have enough money to rebuild it, so there's a little tiny tribute to it right next to where it used to be. Of course, right now a lot of the non-essential businesses are closed down. The restaurants can only do takeout, so this pizza restaurant is closed right now. It's at Spenceberry's Antiques. I've been going on walks here, and I keep seeing this little taxidermied cobra in the window. I've been joking that once the unpleasantness ends, I will go in there and buy that cobra. Of course, I can't see the price tag, so I don't know how much he is, but if he's reasonably priced, I may just go in there and buy that little cobra in the window. Or maybe I'll buy this horrifying wolf head in the window. That is magnificent. Look at that. This is something that may be familiar to those of you that follow me on my live streams, but here is Mountain Quilts, and there is the infamous quilt cat, Layla. It's the cat that lives in the quilt store. How are you doing there, Layla? You hanging in there with this unpleasantness going on? The cat lives in the quilt store. Quilt store, non-essential business, so they are not open right now. It says everyone stay safe, and Layla and I will see you soon. Also, once during a live stream, I was stopped by the police when I was filming near this bank. I was live streaming. What I did was I put my camera that I was filming with, that I was live streaming with, up in this window right here, and I was talking to it, and a cop thought that I was filming the inside of the bank, and they stopped me and questioned me, but in the end it was no big deal. Down here we have the little bronze fox. It's a cute little sculpture and one of the most active Pokemon gyms in the town. There's another bank on Main Street, the SunTrust Bank. And in front of the ATM, they have these jellyfish, which is interesting. A little bit of the deep sea here in the Western Carolina mountains. Also, their drive-through, they have this mural here where you can see the different seasons here in the mountains. There's a wintry mural, and then that long summer period. It is very unusual to be walking down Main Street here, middle of a beautiful day, and have it be so quiet. Some of the local restaurants here are doing like curbside takeout, where you can call ahead and then pull up here and pick up your dinner. One of the more iconic sculptures here in Waynesville is these two right here. This rusty banjo player, and then this guy's playing the washtub bass. Very, very cool. Very large statues. You can see that made out of different sorts of mechanical parts. You can see his smiley face right there. The artist is Stebo. I know he has another sculpture over in Asheville of very similar to this, where a cowboy is riding a giant pig. Ever since I moved here, they've had this giant Pillsbury Doughboy here in this corner window of this kitchen supply shop. I actually bought my oyster shucking knife here. It's the famous Smoky Mountain Dog Bakery, and of course that is baking for dogs, not of dogs. It's very kind that they've left out some dog treats for people to give their dogs, and also they are helping people to feed their dogs during these difficult times, which is very admirable. I always like that little neon diamond shining right there. Now, I must admit to myself that I'm ashamed that I didn't notice this was here. See, right next to the home medical equipment shop and the DWI treatment center, there is a teddy bear museum. There is a teddy bear museum in the town that I live in, and I have never been inside. It's been here apparently a couple years, and somehow I have missed this. Of course, they're closed till further notice, but I don't think it would hurt to take a teeny peek inside. Look at some of the teddy bears. We'll have to go here and visit once they reopen. Apparently they're connected to a cat sanctuary, Serenity Acres Forever Animal Sanctuary, maintaining a quality of life and a healthy home for senior and adoptable and special needs cats. That's pretty awesome. I definitely need to check this place out when they're back open. Really goes to show, I travel all over the country looking for roadside attractions and unique museums, and there's one sitting right here under my nose at home that I have somehow neglected. Now here at Green Hill Cemetery at the end of Main Street, there is several very interesting people buried, and we're going to see if we can find their graves. I do find this grave very interesting here, and I don't know the story behind it, but as you can see, there's a train carved into it. Now, over the course of this channel, I've done quite a few grave sites in my videos, and I'll tell you, it is one of the hardest kind of videos to make. Finding individual graves in a cemetery can sometimes be like finding a needle in a haystack, but there's, you know, different strategies you can use. There's a website called Find a Grave, but it doesn't give you the exact locations. You kind of have to figure them out yourself. So you gotta kind of look at these old blurry pictures and kind of take into account the other stones in the picture and kind of deduce where the grave is. It's not always easy. The cemeteries are always very quiet. A lot of modern gravestones just kind of tell you the dates when someone died. I really like the older ones that kind of give you the full story. Look what this one says. Widowed by the accidental drowning of her husband in 1805, she reared and educated her only child in western North Carolina. And here's our first interesting person's grave. This is the grave of Byron Barr, born 1913, died 1978. But most people did not know him by the name of Byron Barr, as he went by the name of Gig Young. Now, Gig Young was an Academy Award-winning actor. He won an award for a very strange sounding movie. I've not seen the movie, but the movie that he was in was called They Shoot Horses, Don't They? Question mark. Again, I've not seen it, but it is apparently about competitive endurance dancing, but apparently it's very dark as well, and there's murder in it, but murder would not just be in the movies for Gig Young. He would actually murder his wife 3 weeks after they got married. They found him and his wife dead. He had shot in her and then shot in himself. No answer to why he did this, no motivation to why he did this. There may have been some mental illness involved, but I think it is still somewhat of a mystery on why Gig Young murdered his new wife and then turned the gun on himself. Apparently, you know, he did not live here in Waynesville, but his family had a family plot here in Waynesville, and this is where he is buried. The end of a dark Hollywood story right here in the small town of Waynesville, North Carolina. Although that is not the only piece of dark history here in this cemetery. Now here is the other subject for today, right here. This is the grave of William R. Greer. Now, William Greer plays a very small but somewhat crucial role in one of the most dramatic events in American history. William Greer was the limousine driver of one John F. Kennedy, our president. And he was driving the limousine on the very day when John Kennedy was shot in Dallas, Texas, in Dealey's Plaza. Now, he was criticized for his role. He was driving a limousine, and when the first shot rang out, he was instructed by a Secret Service agent to get out of there, to go. But I guess he was so surprised and shocked that he turned around to look and see what had happened before turning back and accelerating, and that apparently was against protocol. He was never officially punished for it, but apparently even Jackie Kennedy personally criticized William Greer and said that he was incompetent, and he actually had quite a bit of regret and personally apologized to Jackie Kennedy for his momentary lapse in judgment. Now, if you go down those deep, deep rabbit holes, you will find that some people even believe that William Greer was the second gunman. You know, a lot of different conspiracy theories that we're not going to dwell into today, but some people claim that when he turned, he wasn't turning to see if everything was okay. He was turning to take the final shot and to take out JFK once and for all. Probably not what happened. I honestly will tell you that. Now, Kennedy assassination is a huge can of worms to pop open in this video, and I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comment section what you feel. But kind of what the conclusion that I've come to in the media that I have observed and the small amount of research I've done is the theory that the second gunshot was an accident. I do not believe that it was William Greer who fired the second bullet, but there's a lot of evidence, and of all the scenarios laid out, I find this one to be the one lacking any real holes. What happened, or the theory states that Oswald, fully working alone, intended on taking out the president, fired the first shot, and then one of the Secret Service agents riding in a car behind the president took out his rifle to return fire. They knew they were under fire. He stood up to take his rifle to defend the president. Then the car that he was in abruptly stopped, causing him to fall down back into his seat. And people at the scene said that they did witness the agent having a gun, the agent falling back into his seat because of the car hitting its brakes and the chaos. And in trajectory, experts in bullets and all that, have a lot of theories that the second shooter came from that car. And the theory is, when the Secret Service agent had his rifle out, when he fell back into his seat, he accidentally discharged his gun and killed the president. Now, you can see there would be reasons why you wouldn't want to come clean with that it was an embarrassment. First of all, it's an embarrassment to the Secret Service, the United States government, that they shot the president, that they were trying to protect the people that were sent to protect him accidentally killed him. At the same time, they probably did not want to ruin the life of a man that simply made a mistake. A very drastic mistake, but a mistake nonetheless. And on the world stage, it would look bad to other countries that we had accidentally killed our own president. So I think, you know, they already had an assassin. They already had an assassin with a full motive. Tons of evidence to point to this real assassin doing these things. So pin it all on Oswald, because he was there doing wrong anyways. At least that's what I think. I could be wrong. There's lots of different theories, but to me, that's the theory that stands out as the most compelling, and I'm sure you guys will tell me how stupid and wrong I am in the comment section. So that was our walk for today. Just walked up Main Street and checked out these interesting graves here at this cemetery. Let me guys know what you think of this format of video. There's different walks we can try to check out some other interesting things here in the county I live in, the town of Waynesville, or maybe the surrounding small towns. And we can get through this together, and hopefully I can provide a little bit of entertainment in the meantime. Thank you for watching these videos. Again, if you'd like to help support the channel, check out the Etsy shop selling pins and smashed pennies. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to Patreon, $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Until next time, this one's in the bag.